Hey everyone, this is Demari. Welcome to my YouTube channel. And today I'm going to be doing the April 2020 monthly tarot reading for the sign of Pisces. Now, just so you know, this is a general reading, so it's not going to necessarily apply to each and every one of you. However, you can take a look at this in regards to your Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Mars placements at this time. So do take a look at your natal chart and see what the corresponding zodiac signs are for that, and see which title with that in mind is most resonant or relevant to you at this time. Okay, so just so you know, I will be laying out a Celtic cross spread using the Waite traditional deck, and also clarifying further with the intuitive tarot deck. So I'm just going to bit aggressive. I'm just going to get the main spread out for you first, and then I'll discuss the meanings behind each card and how it can relate to your current circumstances and the situations and energies playing out over the course of April. And then I'll go into the clarification for you after that and how it can bring more insight into the situation. Okay. But yeah, just bear with me 1 minute. One or two of these cards that have just really flown out across the room. So it's like, okay, reading's been a bit aggressive so far. You're feeling a little bit angsty right now. You're feeling a little bit, a bit moody, a bit temperamental. Okay. So in regards to your present circumstances, Pisces, you have the Knight of Swords in reverse, air energy, okay? Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. So it could be that in general you may be getting a bit frustrated if that's the general feeling you have right now. You might be a bit frustrated, a bit annoyed because you feel like you can't really take any action towards something in particular. Or there may be a set of things you feel like you need to really address now, but you can't. Maybe with everything that's going on in the world right now, that could be slowing down your progress significantly and making you feel kind of frustrated as a result. We'll have a look at that when we clarify. In regards to your challenge in relation to this energy, you have the Page of Wands in reverse, so fire energy, okay? This is Aries, Sagittarius, and Leo. So it could be that, because you're not able to take action, you're being asked that, okay, rather than getting frustrated and annoyed and, kind of cursing the heavens for the situation, why not look at what is it that you could be investing your energy into? What would be a better use of your time and energy right now? Is there something that you could really throw yourself into that you would really enjoy? Maybe there's something else that would be worthy of your time and energy also. So yeah, there may be something else that you could address and look at and partake in, rather than focusing on the things you can't do right now and what's outside of your control. Think about what you can do and what would bring you happiness right now. In regards to your recent past, you have the Judgment card, okay? So, you may have made a decision on something based upon what you felt to be right and just at the time, what you felt like would bring a very good set of circumstances for everyone involved. Or you may felt like you were justified in making a tough decision. It's going to be different from each and every one of you. I feel like for a few of you, you were starting to see some kind of karmic justice in a situation, and that made you feel good. That made you feel empowered, and it made you feel like things were balancing finally, after a long struggle. Okay. In regards to your near future, you have the Empress in reverse. So you may not be feeling like now is a good time to really invest in any long-term plans for yourself, particularly if you were thinking about maybe settling down or having a family. You may be pushing that back because you feel like there's some things that need your attention first. There's some resources that you need to acquire before you can think about setting up this perfect family life. Possibly you're just feeling like a bit stressed, particularly those of you who are parents already. You may be feeling like, I'm not really good at this, right? I'm not feeling like the best mom, the best dad, you know, because of everything that's going on right now and I need to take care of, or because I can't give my kids what they need right now, or I can't give them what they want, or, you know, I feel like I'm lacking in some way, right? But you may be being a bit harsh on yourself, right? Because it's not an easy time for anyone. So while things might be, you know, resources might be tight, money might be tight, you just got to do the best you can, and that's all you can really ask for yourself. But you know, it's not to say that you're not trying, right? Things might not go according to plan, but don't beat yourself up over the things you can't control, right? Just focus on the things you can control, and that doesn't make you less than, simply because there's some things you just can't, you know, you just can't get, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Because they're just not coming together, basically, right? In regards to your feelings at this time, you have the Three of Pentacles, so Earth energy, okay, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. So you may be feeling like at this time that you may feel like people are criticizing your parenting style, criticizing the choices that you're making whilst, you know, everything is going on, and how you're coping with it, or what you're choosing to invest your time and energy into. You may feel like, you know, you've put a lot of time and energy into something, and people are not seeing it for what it is, and they're like, why are you doing that? You should be doing this, this, and this. And you're like, I'm doing this because I need to do this. Like, what are you talking about? And that could be bringing out some of the frustration as well, because, you know, they're only seeing what's on the surface. They're not seeing everything else behind it, right? So they might be quick to judge you based on what it looks like on the surface, not how things actually are. And that might be leading to this frustration, this anger, but also getting to the point where you feel like whatever you do isn't good enough, and that, you know, you're not being the best provider in some way, whether that's as a parent, as a carer, even to yourself, or in a relationship, or, you know, in your job. However, it could resonate in so many ways, so just take it however. Okay. And in regards to what's crowning you this time, so what's within your power to affect, the energy that's surrounding this is the Six of Cups. So there's something that's kind of you're revisiting, okay? So it could be that for some of you, you're going to be a parent again. Maybe you were already a parent to one child, and now you or your partner is pregnant with another. And it's bringing up all those familiar emotions at the time that you had back then, you know, like of worrying about having this, that, and the other, being able to control this, this, and this, having enough resources. So some of you already are pregnant, and it scares you because you're scared that you're not going to have the energy and the same amount of love and time to pour into raising this child. You know, the same kind of because the situation is not the same, right? So you may be scared that you're not going to be able to give the child everything that it deserves, right? Because of everything that's going on, because of the criticism you're getting from people who don't know shit, basically. And because of, like I said, the uncertainty of everything. For some of you, it's a case of, you know, you're being kind of pulled into these romantic feelings again, especially within a relationship. So if you're married, or you're in a long-term commitment, or you're even just like, you know, you recently started a relationship. I don't feel like this is for singles in particular. I feel like this is for people who are in a committed relationship in some sense. I feel like you're being pulled back into that space of, you know, being romantic and doing little romantic gestures for each other again, right? So yeah, I really do get the feeling that this reading is more for people who are in a committed relationship of some description. So yeah, if this doesn't apply to your situation, like I said, have a look at one of your other placements, okay? But yeah, so this kind of like the dating energy of the past is going to come to the forefront, and you're going to miss that, and you're going to want that again. So you may do little things for each other to remind you of why you fell in love with each other to begin with, which is really sweet. And I love that energy for you, Pisces. Like, yeah, you deserve it. That's what you need to know. You do deserve that, to be, be romanced and treated well and spoiled emotionally. Like, for sure, you deserve it, okay? And in regards to your advice, you have the Wheel of Fortune. So that's very positive. It's showing that, whatever challenges you're facing now, that's temporary, right? Things are changing fast, okay? So just be aware that, the difficulties you're facing is not a permanent situation. It's not something that's always going to be present, So you will find a way through it. A path will open up for you, okay? To navigate past these difficulties, these challenges, away from these, nosy, gossiping types that are criticizing you and making you feel less than. You'll navigate through all of that bullshit and away from it, okay? So don't worry, it's being taken care of. And you'll take care of it too in the places where you need to, okay? So, like I said, only focus on what you have control over at this time. In regards to your environmental influences, situations, people surrounding you at this time, so external influences, you have the King of Wands in reverse, so fire energy, Leo, Aries, Sagittarius, right? So yeah, I feel like a lot of people are kind of feeling quite, scared, not so confident, not as capable, uncertain, unsure of themselves even. And they might be, I feel like they're projecting that on you, okay? So the people that are around you at this time that feel like are quite negative, that are criticizing, that are judging you, that are acting like you're not doing enough, that you're not enough, they're just projecting their insecurities on you, okay? That's what you need to know. So if you, and as well, like if you're dating someone who's this kind of energy right now that's feeling kind of lacking, if it's not you that's coming across as like the Empress in reverse, or even if you are and your partner's in this energy where he's feeling not very confident, not feeling very attractive, not feeling self-assured, not feeling like, he's a leader in the relationship or like the provider. I say he because it's king, but it could be a female or a male you're dealing with, it doesn't matter. It's just the energy that this person has. If that's the case, they may need to be reminded of what's great about them, and if you take the initiative here by showing these romantic gestures, romantic feelings, that will really help to bring them back into this space, okay? So they may be feeling a bit lackluster because you guys have not embarked in this kind of energy for some time. So it's a good opportunity to do that, just little things that you can do together to remind yourselves of why you fell in love with each other in the first place, what's so great about your relationship. Just little things that make a big difference, okay? In regards to your fears, you have the King of Cups in reverse, so water energy. This is your energy, Pisces. Also Cancer and Scorpio. So you may be afraid right now that you're not going to have it all together, that emotionally you're just going to crack, essentially. That while you've been trying to stay strong, trying to stay stable, be a stabilizing force within your relationship, your family life, your friends, your work life, you've been trying to be so strong and stable and emotionally grounded for everyone, that the cracks may be starting to appear on the surface and you're afraid that you're just going to crack completely and you're just going to have an emotional outpour. And even if that happens, because I don't feel like it's like emotional breakdown level, but even if you have a little bit of a cry or you just take a moment to just vent, there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes you need to do that. It's healthy. It's better to get it out of your system than to keep it contained, because then it's more likely to come out and manifest in some really strange ways. So it's better to just take the time out, have a discussion with your partner, have a discussion with your friends, family members, whoever you feel like you can talk to about this at this time, and just get it off your chest. And even if you cry, that's fine. Just get it out, get it out of your system. So don't be afraid to do that, okay, is what I'm saying. In regards to your hopes, you have the King of Pentacles. So this is earth energy again. And I feel like, what you want is to be in this space. You want to feel like you have everything down, that you're very stable, that you're financially secure, That you have your entire shit together on every level, you know. That you're not worried about finances, you're not worried about if you have energy, you're not worried about if you have time, you know, to do what you need to do. You don't have to worry about, you know, how to logistically make things happen. You don't have to worry about any of these things. You want to just know that you've got everything under control, that you can handle it, right? And I think you can, you know, even if there's certain things in your situation, obviously, that you're not going to be able to control. You know, there's some things that just happen, okay? Like, there's a lot of influences in our reality. Sure, we can shape various aspects of our reality ourselves, absolutely. We play a significant part in our day-to-day lives, obviously. But there's some things that are just going to be outside of your control. So rather than worrying about, you know, what you don't have down and allowing it to, like, break you down, just focus on the things you can control and know that regardless, you are abundant, and that even the things that are not quite coming together, even where you feel that there's some sense of lack, that's not always going to be the case, right? And then in regards to your potential outcome, you have the Four of Wands in reverse. So this is very important. This is saying, like, listen, depending on how you approach this, you can elect this, this energy that you're having, that you're engaging with and you're kind of harboring, can affect your relationship, can affect your marriage, can affect your family, you know, in your family dynamics. So it's important that you don't harbor it and you don't feed into the negativity, right? Because that can actually break the foundations, not like overnight, but over time, right? So just being aware of that. It's not saying that you're going to lose it by any means. It's just saying that these are the things that can contribute to the breakdown of a relationship, breakdown of a marriage, if you're not discussing things openly and you're buying into the negatives and you're not doing anything that really, you know, reminds you of the good things, right? And reminds you that actually all people can do is try their best. You're not going to have everything down. You're not going to be perfect 100% of the time, okay? And that's fine. But if you get wrapped into that way of thinking, then you could actually start doing things that starts to sabotage your happiness, sabotage your family dynamic, okay? So it's important to be aware of that. Okay, so I'm going to jump into the clarifications now for you. So I'm just going to pull the cards out first, and then we can go into how they apply. Quite a lot of cards, but okay. It's what wants to come out. It's what wants to come out. So can't really, yeah. I feel like there's some very significant messages coming through. We've got the general theme here, but yeah, there's some real messages coming through here. Like, seriously. Okay. We'll get to it just now. Alright. So clarifying the Knight of Swords in reverse here. You have the Two of Cups and the Two of Wands in reverse. So yeah, I feel like your relationship is very much at the forefront of your mind at this time. It's very, very important to you. It means the world to you. But you're feeling disempowered because you can't take action on something. You may have been wanting to leave something toxic behind, something that was preventing you from really expressing the true depth of your feelings for this person, or feeling like more empowered in yourself, you know, to not be reliant on this person emotionally so much. Maybe you were in a kind of codependent situation in the past, and that's something you've been trying to clear out, and that's why you're kind of feeling a bit frustrated that there's certain things you can't do right now, because maybe you were getting some counseling and you're not able to visit. Maybe you were taking steps in order to better yourself health-wise. Maybe you're going to the gym. You know, maybe you just maybe it's just hobbies, whatever it is. Something that makes you feel very good in yourself. It feels like you can't do anymore, and that's bothering the hell out of you. Because you feel like things are good in your relationship right now, so you don't want to press or lean on this person to fulfill you, your happiness, right? In regards to the recent past, the Judgment here, you have the Chariot in reverse, Cancer's energy, and you have the Eight of Cups. So I felt like a situation played out where, yeah, you felt like it was just like something, I mean, it made sense to you that it played out the way it did because, sorry, let me just adjust this a little bit. There we go. You may have felt like you had to go off and really think about how you were going to change things, how you're going to move forward in this connection. Because things became stagnant at some point, you know, things were no longer clear and moving forward in the same, with the same energy or the same, you know, speed, at the same speed as they were before. So then you had to like take a minute to just go off and think about what it is that you think needs to happen here to get things back on track. Maybe you felt even something derailed your relationship or your progress in some way. And it made sense to you why it happened the way it did. You know, only when you went off and got the clarity did it become clear in your mind. When you went off to gain this clarity, it became clear in your mind why this situation played out the way it did and what needed to be done in order to get things back on track, essentially. Gosh. Okay, so clarifying the near future, the high priestess, where's that coming from? The Empress in reverse here. You have the Knight of Swords in reverse and the Four of Pentacles. So yeah, it could be that where you've been feeling out of sorts, feeling like, you know, you're not got what it takes to really nurture the connection, nurture your family life, to be the perfect mother figure, simply because it's the Empress here, that nurturing aspect of the mother, you know, the perfect parent or, you know, grandparent or whatever. It may be because you've been bottling up so many things within yourself. You've been holding on to a lot of things that you don't need to anymore. There may be things from the past that you're not willing to let go of yet because you feel like you can't. You were making progress, but then because something changed or because everything's become stagnant due to what's happening in the world or some other circumstance, you feel like you're not making progress anymore, that you can't let go of those negative self-doubts, those thoughts and feelings that you have about yourself and your worth and capabilities, right? Your ability as a mother, your ability as a father, your ability as a lover, as a husband, a wife, whatever capacity this applies in, you know. So yeah, there's a lot that you're holding on to still that you're kind of not discussing with anyone because you're like, you know, I need to get this off my chest, how I'm feeling, but at the same time I can't, you know. I just can't because my usual outlet is not available to me right now. How I usually release this isn't available to me right now, so I'm just stuck in this energy. But I feel like it's really important that you do talk about it, you know, and to realize that there are still things you can do, even if that way of dealing with it that usually helps for you isn't as accessible as it was, or in the same way. There may be another way that you can approach it. So in regards to the challenges at this time, you have the Page of Wands in reverse, as you know, clarified by the Emperor, Aries card, and the Nine of Wands in reverse. So yeah, like I said, think about what it is that's going to make you happy, that's going to, you know, it's going to make light of the situation. It's going to make you feel good rather than bring you down, right? Because you may feel like there might be someone in your life that's kind of this energy, okay, that you feel like is kind of maybe it's like, again, it's tied with this judgment. I'm feeling like someone is quite a judgmental character, and they can be quite stubborn and set in their ways. An older figure. I feel like this is possibly a grandparent. It could be your father or a grandfather or someone of that kind of energy, an uncle, like an older uncle, like someone who's significantly older than you. Or this could even be the energy of your partner right now, that he's feeling like kind of domineering, and not even a he, but just that energy, like a dominant male energy, where he's like, you know, this person, whoever this is in the relationship, is kind of feeling like quite stubborn and it's not very open, you know, can be quite guarded, maybe just like very set in his ways, very used to doing things in a traditional way, and that's kind of annoying you a little bit because you want something new, something fresh in your life, and you're finding it hard to really gain that. And this could be the other person feeling like that. They feel like you're the one that's being stubborn and unrelenting, but I feel like that's not your energy. I feel like this is them. And I feel like, yeah, you know, you're just trying to overcome some of the wounds from the past that was caused by this energy, you know, feeling like possibly this person contributed you to feel like you weren't empowered, to feel like you weren't capable and confident, right? Because of their remarks, because of the way they were unwilling to listen to your view, your point of view, how you would like to do things, right? They're always like, well, my mom did this way, or my dad did it this way, or, you know, I've always done it this way. And you're like, just let me do what I want to do. Let me do things my way, okay? It's that kind of energy, I feel like. Okay, in regards to your feelings with the Three of Pentacles here, you have the High Priestess in reverse, so here she is, and the Three of Swords. So yeah, I feel like this person, whoever this person is, I feel like there may be more than one person that's been very judgmental, but there's one key figure that's probably much closer to you than everyone else, possibly a family member or your partner, that has been quite critical of how you do things, how you're trying to approach your work, your home life, raising your family, how you are in your relationship. And you know, that's kind of left you out of sorts to the point where you feel like you can't even trust in your own intuition anymore. That you don't see clearly. You're like, is this me? Is there something wrong with me? Or is this person just being hypercritical because I don't do things the same way they do it, right? So it's made you question, like, am I doing it the right way? Like, am I actually, like, is this actually okay? Like, or is there something wrong with me? Or, you know, am I just not good enough, right? So you're feeling out of sorts because of that judgment, that critique that you're constantly getting, and it's really upsetting you. Like, it's really, really upsetting you. And I feel like, yeah, I mean, I know this card can sometimes represent a third party situation, but I feel like I don't feel like that is the case for you guys. I feel like for those whose reading this is for, I feel like you're just heartbroken over the fact that someone you love so much, who, you know, you put a lot of positivity and give your time to, is so judgmental right now. Even if this is not them all the time, at least right now they're coming across as so nitpicky, so judgmental, and it's bringing you down, right? So this is why you have to have this conversation. It's really, really important, right? Because that is affecting your happiness overall. So clarifying the Six of Cups here in the position of what's crowning you in your power to affect. You have the Seven of Cups in reverse and the Two of Pentacles in reverse. So yeah, I think it's just like, I think there may be something you've been contemplating for some time, something relevant to the past, a past connection, possibly that you had, or how things used to be in the past with this person. And you feel like you've exhausted so many ways to try and approach it, to try and make it clear to this person how you truly feel, what you feel is lacking, or what you feel is being used against you, right? Or it's being communicated that actually upsets you. I feel like you've tried many different ways to explain to this person how they've been making you feel, and they're just not getting it, you know, and you're just like, I've exhausted every option I can think of, you know. I don't know how else to, like, express my feelings. I don't know how else to express how I feel about them and let them see that I'm not doing things against their wishes despite them. I'm trying to find my own way, right? And they need to listen to my voice, not just their own, right? So you've kind of tried to find so many different ways on how to do this, and I feel like you just kind of gave up pretty much. Because you were like, yeah, I don't want us to be ramming heads, I don't want us to be fighting, I don't want us to be clashing or making snide remarks. I want us to get back on track. I want things to be how they used to be between us, right? And that can be, like I said, with your partner or this family member that's kind of intervening constantly, right? So in regards to your advice with the Wheel of Fortune here, as I said, things are changing fast. You have the Seven of Wands in reverse, the Moon card, okay, so this is your energy, Pisces, okay, and you have the Queen of Swords, so air energy, that's Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. So, yeah, things are changing drastically, and I feel like you're not going to be, just trying to defend your honor every step anymore. I feel like you're just going to tell them straight, like, listen, this is what you're doing, and I'm sick of it. Like, you need to know some things, okay? You need to know how you've been making me feel. First of all, this is not acceptable, and I'm not putting up with this shit anymore. But this is what you're doing. You're making me step into this space where I feel like I have to defend every action I take, every decision, every move, every thought, like everything I say. Like, why is that? What is going on with you? Why do I have to defend myself all the time? Because I'm not willing to do it anymore. This is how I feel, and you need to change. You need to do something about this, right? So you're going to speak your truth, essentially, on this matter. You're not putting up with it anymore. And I feel like that's because obviously this is in the position of your advice, but I honestly feel like a lot of you are going to do that. Some of you won't. Some of you may need to get further nudges from the universe to do that. But I feel like some of you will. You'll just literally be like, I'm done with this. Like, this is not happening anymore. Okay. And in regards to your external influences, got there in the end. The King of Wands in reverse is clarified by the Tower in reverse and the Ace of Wands in reverse, okay? So I feel like with this combination, whoever's been criticizing you, that's coming from a place of insecurity, feels like they lost something valuable and they never found a way to sort of make it right again or put pieces back together or fix the situation. They didn't think they had what it takes to fix it or to even fix themselves. The parts of themselves, I think they feel very broken. They have what it takes to heal that part of themselves. Like I said, it's very like what they're projecting on you is exactly what's going on within them, right? And I feel like for those of you where it's your relationship where you may not be as romantic to each other as you have been because you've been worried about the kids, your home life, your finances, blah, blah, blah. I feel like, this person is just trying to avert disaster because they feel like we can't start all over again. Like, we just don't have the resources. It's bad enough that, things have happened as they have in the world, and now we're just trying to find a way to make it work with this new structure. But I really can't afford to start again. Like, I just don't have the energy to go through it all again. And that's maybe what they're worried about. Like, they're not going to be having the same level of enthusiasm or energy or drive as they used to have, because they're not the same person. They've matured, they've changed, situations have changed. So they're really worried that that they're not going to be able to find a way to put things back together to make things as they were, because everything's changing so drastically, right? But that's where, like, if that is the case, your support, your love will be very important, okay? If you bring this energy to the table, and disregard the fact that, you've tried various ways to show them that you love them, but, they're kind of fixated in this energy. If you just literally sit with them, spend time with them, just do little things. It doesn't have to be these great gestures, just little things, and not put pressure on them either, but just do little things for them to show them that they're loved, they're appreciated, that you understand that they feel like there's a lot of pressure on their shoulders. This is going to make all the world of a difference, right? And this could be what your person needs to do for you, okay? So it can go by either way, essentially. You know, maybe all you need is this person, this significant person in your life, to show you, you know, how they really feel about you and how appreciated you are and how special you are. And that's going to help take you out of that state of I'm not enough, right? So in regards to, your fears at this time, the King of Cups in reverse. You have, there's a lot going on here, the Ten of Swords. You have the Ace of Swords. So you see how the 10 is followed by the Ace, like new beginning, right? The Queen of Cups. So this is also your energy, okay? So we have the Queen clarifying the King. So very, very interesting. So more water energy. And you also have the Six of Pentacles. Yeah, you're really like, emotionally you're kind of done. Like you're carrying so much on your shoulders that you need this release, okay? So this release, I feel like, even though you're afraid of it, you know it's coming and you know you need to do it. So either you'll speak to your partner, a family member, or someone else that's close to you, a friend, and you'll just have this release. You'll have this moment where you just let go. And you'll just open up and be vulnerable about how you're feeling, how everything's been for you at this time. You know, you'll speak very clearly from the heart. And then once you do that, you'll purge this heaviness, you know, and you'll be able to see clearly what it is you need to do. And then you'll start asserting yourself, your position, right? Making it clear, setting boundaries, you know, showing attention and care and love where it's needed, you know, in your relationship, your children's, your connection with your children, things like that. And yeah, you're going to be vulnerable, you know, your emotions will come out. You will be feeling like a mess, but that's okay. Sometimes you need that moment. I know the Queen of Cups, you know, I love her because she is my energy, essentially, right? I love her, even though everyone does give her a bit of a, not a bad rap. Everyone knows that, you know, the Queen of Cups energy is like very loving, very nurturing, like, you know, but the problem with the Queen of Cups is that her emotions can be everywhere. It can just spill out, you know, if left unchecked, whereas the King tends to be more stable, but the King is in reverse because this is what's coming out at this time, right? Because the Queen needs to have her moment. She needs to have the space to be vulnerable and to be told that it's all right to be vulnerable. So then once she's had her moment, she can be strong again and support the King, right? So the King can then take the reins and be the grounding factor in the emotions, right? While she's supporting in that supportive role and keeping things flowing, right? So it's really important to have that moment, right? And then once you do that, then you can start balancing things out. That's when you'll feel more emotionally balanced in yourself. That's when things will start to balance out in your dynamic with others as well. Okay, energetically things will balance out much more, but this needs to take place first. So then clarifying your hopes, the King of Pentacles here, Earth energy. You have the Temperance card in reverse, Sagittarius energy, and the Hermit in reverse, so Virgo. So very prominent energies here. You could easily be dealing with an Aries, a Sagittarius, a Virgo. Could be pretty much anyone, to be honest with you, looking at the combinations we have here, but these are like the main energies we have here. Possibly even another water sign also. But yeah, I just see here that what you're hoping is that you can basically, like I said, keep your shit together. That's basically what I'm getting from this. That you're not going to be a shell of a person by the end of it, whatever the situation is. That you're going to have your shit together. That everything's going to be as it should be, very solid, very stable. That you're not having to just like lay dormant and hope things will be all right, or just work out, or someone else has to rescue you or anything like that. But I think also that you don't want to have to feel like, you know, you have to really bury to find solutions. You have to really borrow your way within yourself in order to gain clarity and solutions. I think you just kind of want things to just work out. Like you're like, I just want things to just be secure, you know. I don't want any more bullshit. I don't want to have to take any time to do this, that, and the other. I've already been thinking a lot. I've already spent a lot of time and energy in trying to find ways to make things work, to bring it all together. So I just want shit to just come together pretty much. I'm not willing to wait anymore. Like, I just want things to work out now. You know, it's that kind of energy. But who says they won't? You know, you just have to be aware that, you know, the main thing that's holding you back is this feeling because of the critique you're constantly getting. So the way you're viewing yourself is what's impacting you the most right now. And it's also potentially what's impacting your relationship or your connection. So yeah, just be aware of that. So clarifying the potential outcome, the Four of Wands here. You have the Page of Wands in reverse, some more fire energy. You have the Wheel of Fortune again. And the Ten of Pentacles. So yeah, this situation is coming to a close. Like, whatever it is that's been very rocky and uncertain and what you're worried about in regards to your connection, that's coming to a close. And I feel like, yeah, like there is, while there's always a risk that if something isn't addressed and dealt with properly, that you can end up losing something or someone. I don't feel like that's necessarily the case for you guys. Obviously, it's going to be different for each and every one of you, but I feel like it all depends on what you choose to do. I feel like maybe some aspect of your commitment is going to change quite dramatically. You know, like this small gestures of communication, small actions, you know, of like showing that you're willing to, you know, take things to the next level or take things forward or, you know, get back into this like romantic stage, as I said. I feel like that's coming to an end. I feel like you both realize what you truly have. And then actually, yeah, we don't need to pretend like we're 18 again and we're dating for the first time. What we need to do is appreciate where we're at now, what we have now, how powerful that is, and express it from that place, right? And not downplay what we have, essentially. And then once you do that, that's when things will start changing dramatically. I think where you were seeing cracks, the things that were not solid in the relationship, that's where you'll start to change it. That's where you can start to see what needs improving, what needs addressing, right? But not as an individual. You'll stop seeing it as the problem is with me as a person, but seeing it as, okay, what can we do as a couple to fix our relationship, to fix the areas that are cracked, or what can we do, you know, as a family to address these problematic areas, you know, who needs to be focusing on what, you know, so it doesn't just become, you know, something that's blamed on one person or is put all on the shoulders of one person to address. That as a unit, you're all going to be doing your individual bit. Yeah. So I hope that helps. I hope that made sense for you guys. So yeah, Pisces, do let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please do. And yeah, we'll see where this goes in your next reading. It may be relevant to this particular one, or it may be something else, but who knows? We'll have to wait and see for that. So for now, I wish you all the best. As I said, you know, take it easy on yourself. You're doing all that you can. Not everything's going to be within your control, so just be aware of that. And yes, it's a joint effort. It's not all on your shoulders. So take care for now, and I wish you all the best.